Hello and welcome! This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Hearts of Iron 4, continuing on with Operation Enduring Francedom, my attempt to survive as France during World War II. So we just got a national focus to give us more factories. As a matter of fact, we probably want to distribute those factories. So we have 5 additional factories, and I think I'm going to put pretty much all of those into production of infantry equipment. As a matter of fact, I can queue up a couple extra here. Where else are we kind of hurting? We're hurting here and here. So I'll queue those up for the meantime. And because we put in new factories here, we don't quite have the production efficiency, but it will come back up. Now, we don't quite have that tech for the retention yet. No, unfortunately not. But we will get a 10% bonus when that completes. If we had that retention bonus when we made that switch, it would have been beneficial. Alright, so we did have some rocky stuff happen. We had a strike that really hurt our economy. The communists have gained some support because of some decisions we've made. But we were able to maintain our unity. It was either let the communists gain support or we lose unity permanently. So I went the other route. I didn't really like that outcome because the communists are the ones that started the strike. So I would prefer if we could reduce their support as soon as possible. And I can do that technically. If I were to gain an advisor here that was a democratic reformer, I would increase the support for the democracy in my country, which is the party that I currently am. Oh, we got more world news going on. Take a look at that. So we have the Olympics here. Okay. I'm not going to read through this, but this is a historical event, and this is mostly for flavor. And the Germans won 33 gold medals. No surprise it was in Germany. But the Americans got 24 gold medals, and Jesse Owens got 4 of those, which actually did piss off Hitler quite a bit. I think one of the Olympic events, the relay race, I believe it was one that Germany was heavily favored in, and Jesse Owens helped the Americans win the gold in that, and he was really pissed. So good for the United States. I don't know how many gold medals France got, but obviously not enough to mention, I guess. Let's take a look at how the Spanish Civil War is going. Honestly, it looks like the Republicans are pushing back a little bit. Up here, at least. Their 2 main areas are going to be Barcelona and Madrid. And as long as they can hold on to that, they may have hopes of holding out. This is kind of an important port for them, too. Now, this port is important, but it's going to be hard for them to hold on to it. Yeah, they continue to push here. Now, if they get cut off, though, that could be bad for them. It looks like they also surrounded maybe a unit here. It looks like the Republicans are pushing back pretty hard. As a matter of fact, they pushed all the way to the border with Portugal, although there goes a counterattack from the nationalists there, and they're gaining some ground in the south. Oh, and there goes the port. So it's kind of hard to say who's winning at the moment. I'm actually hoping that this is a back-and-forth affair, and that it does take a long time like it did historically. Because the nationalists winning quickly would be bad. Now, if the Republicans win quickly, that would be good. But if the nationalists win quickly, that would be bad because it gives them a chance to get their country in order and possibly be a threat in the future. So we really want the Republicans to hold out as long as possible if they end up losing. All right, how is our research coming along? So we've got a couple months to go with that, and our national focus is going to take a little while. Let's see where we are for Germany. So they're working on their industry right now. Not working on anything that would affect us right now. I'm curious if we would have decisions to make when the stuff with Czechoslovakia happens, or the Anschluss of Austria happens. We'll have to find out. All right. So we're only a few days away from this happening. And then we can go on to not only researching more things, but also going with the government reforms, which will be very helpful. All right. So let's first do the research here. So I can start doing some military research. As a matter of fact, it's going to be 37 soon, so I may be able to get some of these with the other tech that are on their way. So armor takes 186 days. This takes 140, which isn't too bad. Maybe I'll start on that, which is support weapons, which looks like it just gives me base modifiers to defense and breakthrough for a lot of units, which is definitely good, at least infantry-based units. We'll go ahead and research that. I mean, we're going to go with a more defensive style anyway. All right, and now we need to go on the government reform. Now, I could go with the military reforms, and eventually I'll be able to, if I go down here, get rid of Victors of the Great War modifier, but I have to get rid of the disjointed government first. So I think going through the government reforms is the better idea. Now, right now, I don't have a choice to make, but I will have to make a choice very soon. And my idea is to go down the tree that is this way. But it's possible, if I wanted to go the communist route, that I could go down this way and start getting the communist support, and then my government would probably switch over to communist. But I really don't want to do that. I want to go with France kind of going the way that they did and not really changing things up too much. I mean, I'm going to change up some tactical decisions that they made, but not actual government decisions necessarily. It's possible that the nationalists push back here. So, kind of hard to make out which flag is which. I think that's Republicans and this is nationalists. Those flags are so tiny. Hopefully that's something they fix in the future, because that's kind of hard to tell who's who, especially when their flags mostly change with the symbol in the middle, and of course you've got the purple bar down at the bottom and the red bar, but it's kind of hard to distinguish that. So it looks like, from what we can see, the Republicans are trying to push back over here. And they have made decent gains here. As a matter of fact, they've increased the width of this corridor. And they've kind of solidified their position up here. It looks like the Republicans are actually doing quite well. I'm hoping they win. That would be very good for us. Alright, so how is our research coming along? We've got 26 days. Oh, you know, I haven't checked this in a long time. These guys have been exercising, probably needlessly. Yep. Oh, I do have colonial forces here. I didn't even realize that. Okay, well, we're going to stop them exercising. That will probably help as well with the reduction in the need for supplies. And we'll switch over to the Alpine front here. And we'll exercise these guys. These guys don't need as much exercising because there are 3 units that need it. And I do have that one division over here now. And we could bring them into one of these fronts. I think what I'll do is I'll add them to this unit. And right, that's how I do it. Yeah, there we go. Did they get assigned? We'll find out. So they are these guys here. And if we click on this unit, have they been added? Not that I can tell. Ah, there we go. Now they're there. Okay. And I'm going to assume they're going to fill in this pocket here. And they'll also get to exercise. Which I'm not sure if they needed it. Yeah, they did. They're regular troops as well. We have another colonial unit here. Interesting. Colonial units are probably cheaper to produce. I also might want Alpine divisions here. Now, I've not been able to train these guys, but I could at least set it up. We'll have them pop out in Savoy whenever that does eventually happen. Now, that did make our need go up, but for now, production is starting to get up there, and the need's starting to go away. And should be getting the research to help our production even more here very soon, which will give us at least one more factory, right? Because factory output will go up by 10%. All right. So let's first choose the research we want. As I mentioned, it is close to 37, so we might want to increase our production efficiency. We'll have a penalty initially, but eventually that penalty will go away. I could just wait, though. Resource gain efficiency or construction speed. I'm not sure if we need the resources all that much right now, because we don't have any shortages that I'm aware of. So I think I'm going to start on the heavy tank here. And the fighters. So we'll get our military kind of upgraded here to the 36 year, which is something we previously were not really able to do. These guys are exercising, which is good. And once they're done exercising, I might start creating some more units, just for the sake of exercising them to get them to be regular units, and also increase my army experience. Now, I'm sure if I had more units exercising, this would go up faster. But for now, because we need so many supplies, I don't want to drain my supplies too much. So I'm happy with the situation as it is. Yeah, it is looking like the Republicans are winning, because they're really starting to push back here. So this is really good news for me, because that is one less threat that I'm going to have to worry about. Because I think in the way the game works, that the nationalist Spain can get involved and attack France. But if they don't exist, if it's Republican Spain, then I have less to worry about. It's possible the Republicans might go towards the communists, though, and be a communist state. But considering that the Soviet Union was a part of the Allies in World War II, that might not be necessarily a bad thing either. All right. Let's see what our production like is with full efficiency. Oh, we got our national focus here. Government reform, which allows me to make a modification to my government. I'll take a look at that. Now, I thought about reducing the popularity of the communists, which I may do, but we'll have to take a look at that and see all the things that I can do and what would really be the best move. Okay, so I'm going to go with support the status quo, which will give me national unity, which is a good thing. And then probably I'll go this route, which will give me more national unity and also allow me to create a faction. It looks like, as a matter of fact, it already happened. So I get a alliance here, the French Entente. And we get to invite Czechoslovakia. So that might actually combat what Germany's doing. So I'm going to do support the status quo. But I just want to see, where is Germany? Because the Austrian thing should happen first, if I'm remembering my history correctly. No national focus set. So I have to wait a little bit. So I'm not going to be able to tell. I am going to go with support the status quo, though. And we'll see what Germany does and where they're at. But I also can modify the government. So I have all these choices I can make. I can do an advisor, which I can get a... doesn't allow me to do either of these. But I could do this to get more support for the Democratic side. I can get more political power, which is a kind of a problem for us right now, but considering the penalties we have, probably not the best move. We could get better trade deals, political power gain, and ideology drift defense, which ideology would be the Democratic thing here. I don't think that's a big deal. We could get construction speed. Okay, more things to deal with construction speed. Just differences, slight differences. We have factory conversion cost, and then construction of just different military buildings. So out of these, I'd probably go with the democracy support, but I also have other things here. Like, for instance, I can get research time reduction going with the heavy tank. I could also get 5% armor and hard attack. Or I could go with light tanks here, or a mobile tank designer, and I get max speed and reliability instead of the armor and hard attack. But both reduce armor research time. And you are picking a particular company when you do any of these as well. So I can reduce naval research time. It doesn't look like it gives me any other modifier. With aircraft, I have a lot more choices. So looks like this is more for fighters. This is more for, oh, it says medium aircraft. So this is more for heavy fighters and tactical bombers. We have heavy aircraft, so this is strategic bombers, and then we have naval aircraft. So there's a lot of different specializations we can do there. I'd probably go with this one if I had to choose. Then we have material designer. So this is, okay, so this is particular materials, either infantry equipment or artillery or motorized equipment. We have industry. So research timer for the industry. And then over here, we have a bunch of theorists, which are, I'm going to assume, more research guys. So this is predominantly research affecting. And then this is military staff. So honestly, out of all of these, I'm going to take the room reformer. Oh, I also have these choices I can make. I can change conscription. So right now, I think we have the conscription at the highest it can be, because volunteer army would be actually less recruitable population. So that's not really something we want to do. And we definitely don't want to disarm our population, as that would make things even worse. And we could change the economy, I mean, the export focus to be more free trade, which would give me more of a research modifier, reduced research time, and it would give me more factory output as well. All of those things are good. It gives me more resources to the market as well. And then I could change my economy, but it doesn't look like it actually allows me to do any of these because the world tension is not high enough at the moment. So out of these, the things that sound the most appealing are either trade focus, which gives me more factory output, which is definitely good, and increases construction speed and reduces research time. All of those sound really fantastic, honestly, and it's very tempting. I think I'm going to take this first because I think it strengthens the country. Now, I don't know what the downsides of this are. It doesn't seem like there's really any positives to going with limited exports or a closed economy. It just looks like mostly negatives. But I almost kind of wonder if there's behind-the-scenes modifiers that we don't know about. Like maybe you're more vulnerable to certain actions, possibly. But I am going to go with free trade. I think that is the correct choice. Increases our factory output. And that is one thing that I wanted to check out is production. It counts as only 11 factories, but we're at least getting more factory output. At least we should be. All right. Well, that's a decision I made. I could have gone with increasing democratic support, but and we did choose, yeah, support status quo. I don't think we'll get more political power until we get rid of the disjointed government, which we don't get until we go down this tree. So I think I'm going to go with that, then that, then that is my thinking here. All right, let's continue. And I don't think we are going to have any research. We're going to have 60 days there before that pops out. All right. So now we're back to the waiting game. All right. So looks like the Republicans are definitely winning. They've got a pocket closed off here. These guys are going to be cut away from their supplies, so they're going to be in trouble big time. And it looks like they may be able to cut off this group here. These guys are almost completely pushed back. Now, there are some, I think most of the colonies of Spain went nationalist, but once they actually push the nationalists completely out of Spain, they can deal with that pretty easily. It looks like clearly the Republicans are going to win. So unless there's some big swing here, which there may be if the Germans and Italians put a lot of support into the nationalists, they could swing back, but I just get the feeling that's not going to happen. It looks like the Republicans are winning. Now, historically, even if the Republicans had won, it would have been at quite a cost. To get the Soviet Union's support, they actually had to sell off pretty much the entirety of their gold reserve, which the Spanish had quite a lot of gold from their old colonial possessions in the past from the height of Spanish power. And the Soviet Union gained all of that and pretty much traded tanks and planes and other things in support for the Republicans. Now, that didn't work in Spain's favor historically, so they paid all that money for really nothing. So the only one that really benefited from that was the Soviet Union. Whereas the fascist involvement, the Italians and the Germans were mostly, I don't think they really asked for anything from the nationalist Spaniards, but they did use this as an opportunity to gain experience and work out some of their doctrines. So they did gain something from the Spanish Civil War. For instance, the Germans discovered in the Spanish Civil War that their current generation planes were not adequate, and it wasn't until they got some of their more modern stuff in there that they were able to compete with what the Soviet equipment was, at least early on in the Spanish Civil War. All right, so how are things going? We haven't had any naughty pop-ups. And it looks like we'll probably get our research before this pops. 8 days until that happens. But yeah, now it's really clear. The Republicans have won. Again, good thing for me, because that means that's one less front I have to worry about. I only have to worry about the East now. So I couldn't be happier with that development. All right, so we get our research here. All right, now it is 37, so I can start researching things that involve 37. So we're probably going to want to go back into the industry here. And do we want to go for the production efficiency? Well, that takes less time, so that sounds like the better idea. So we get more production efficiency cap. And then this doesn't actually increase the factory output at all. What does it do? Oh, maybe it's a stacking bonus, because it sounds exactly the same. So it must be a stacking bonus. All right, well, that's good. But let's first get the efficiency cap up. I wonder if that's stacking as well. Because if it is, then that means we'd be able to get up to 65% efficiency. But we'll find out. Because right now we're capped at 55. And this total need's starting to go down. So how's our recruitment going? Are they getting supplies yet? No, unfortunately not. So apparently there's still the need for upgrades. Can we actually see that? Yeah, we can. So one of the biggest things here is reinforcements is consuming a big amount of our infantry equipment. and upgrades. That's probably really what's being measured here. Okay, so we gained our national focus. Support the status quo, which is going to give us some national unity, which we got. So we would be at 45 if we didn't have that disjointed government. Okay, so now we need to go... Oh, and I wanted to take a look at Germany and what they've been doing, but I forgot. So they're doing army innovation, so nothing we have to worry about right at the moment. So I think I'm going to go with the little entente here, which will invite Czechoslovakia to the alliance. I kind of wonder if we'll be able to prevent Czechoslovakia from falling then, or being consumed by Germany is, I guess, the correct way of saying that. Although technically the Slovakian side did not get consumed. It was more what is modern-day Czech Republic that got consumed. So let's do that. And hopefully we're able to get that out before they start affecting Czechoslovakia over here. I'm curious whether Czechoslovakia will accept or not, because we haven't really done anything to improve their relations, so they may not. Although they do kind of like us. But we could improve relations here. But it might be too late, because it'd only be 0.2 a day. We get, what, maybe 14 out? I mean, it may make a difference, but it might not. But there's no harm, I guess. But maybe that's something I should have started doing from the beginning, to ensure that they accepted the invitation. But we should get them above 20 before that arrives. Kind of curious what will happen, because we are going differently than the way history went. Because historically, France would have gone with Britain instead. We would have gone down this tree. And we would have lost out on all of these. Now, I don't know if I really want to use any of these. I mostly did it for the unity gain. Matter of fact, I really don't know if we'll even get involved in World War II. It's possible we won't with that decision, because aligning ourselves with England is what got us involved with the war. Because I think it was more England that guaranteed the independence of Poland, although technically I guess France did as well. But as far as the game's concerned, it's probably England that guarantees Poland's independence. I don't know if France necessarily would have done that. But we could do that once world tension heats up enough that we're actually allowed to do that. We could do that ourselves, and that would involve us in World War II. We would just be a different faction than the Allies, I think, is how that works. I think there is actually a faction map mode that we can take a look at somewhere. Yeah, here we are. So right now that hasn't happened. You can see England is the Allies, Germany is the Axis, and then you have the common term over here. Common turn, I mean. All right. So we got our synthetic oil. We're going to have to take a look at that here in a second. We'll have to take a look at the faction map mode and see if we're a new faction when that pops. All right, so we gained research here of the synthetic refineries. Now, I don't know if we can actually produce that yet. So let's go over to the constructions here. And we can do synthetic refineries. And that would give us 5 oil and 2 rubber. Well, we might as well queue that up. And I'm going to put that over here. Again, keeping things away from Germany. Although infrastructure-wise, there may be reasons of putting it more up in northern France. I want to put it down here instead. And I'm going to prioritize that over the military factory. But I'll let the civilian factories continue to be produced, as long as that remains the same. And research slot. Okay, so if we did this, I don't really understand what this does. Does this just give us a upgraded? Oh, state level 2. Okay, yeah. So it's an upgraded refinery. Well, I don't know if that's a big priority right now. It's a quick research, though, compared to the initial research. That's pretty darn quick. And we're in 37 now, so we could go with construction speed up. Or we could go with this, which is probably the better move. There we go. Get our industry and economy going. And we might go back towards some of that with some of these techs, although I do have some infantry stuff to research. All right. And I think this is a good point to put a cut in the video, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.